5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It is the holiday season, but the Seton Catholic men's basketball team is red hot. Tonight, Carter AB's team is back on home court, taking on Coconino. Jay McMahon right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Joe Coconino. So glad you can join us. Well, last night, the Sentinels were at their absolute best, dismantling the monsoon of Valley Vista 64-47. For their sixth straight win. Julian Garcia led the way, knocking down 20 points, and Luke Padilla came alive with 14 points in the second half, 11 in a critical third period. Now tonight, the Sentinels looking for their seventh straight win, taking on Coconino. The squad, led by head coach Cooper Elliott, has come out of the gates with a 1-3 record, and they meet right now in just a matter of minutes right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. We'll take a timeout for the announcements, the national anthem, and we'll have the starting lineups coming up in just a bit. Officials, that is. The officials for tonight's game is Jaden Fassett, Ben Schultz, and Andy Goodman. Goodman was part of the crew last night that reffed the game against Valley Vista. And what an effort by Coach AB's squad. They tore it open with a 24-9 third period en route to a 64-47 victory, picking up their seventh win. The team, needs to say, they've been on a roll. They won the annual East Valley Holiday Basketball Tournament. They dismantled Westwood earlier this week, and last night, Valley Vista with no answers for Coach Carter AB's squad. Starting lineup for Sentinels as they are being introduced as we speak. Miguel Grijalva, KJ Fauski, number 11, Luke Padilla, number 24, Gio Barone, and number 33, Julian Garcia. On the other side for Coconino, a squad that is trying to find itself, and talking to Coach Cooper Elliott, he mentioned that right now his team is having a hard time finding the ability to score. So that could play out early in this one. And we'll see exactly how it all unfolds right here from John J. McMahon Gym. So jumping it, number 23, Michael Chukwuegia. Number 3, JT Begay. Number 4, Tyson Mortensen. Number 10, that is Hashki Nelson. And number 14, Michael Minter. And the doctor, fresh off making a house call, now steps in, and that is Adam Perry. Doc, so glad to see you. And obviously for the Sentinels coming in here with a lot of momentum, riding an impressive 6-game winning streak and still feeling the vibes off that impressive win last night over the Monsoon.
Yeah, clearly they start off the first defensive drive with a great turnover. We'll see what they can do on offense now. Padilla with the ball, swings it to Grijalva. Thinks about pulling. And travel violation called on him. First foul of the night.
So Grijalva with the turnover, and this one just getting underway. These two squads met last year. Both squads made the playoffs, and Chukwuegia inside, and he's going to have that size advantage and goes back up and automatically comes down with a couple rebounds. So athletically, you can tell that Coconino has the size advantage with Chukwuegia. Young man who's a junior, putting up 8 points last season with almost 10 rebounds, and misses the first. Coach Elliott's squad, as Chukwuegia sinks the first. They open with a loss to Red Mountain, 57-38, a loss to Kellis, 39-66. Knocked off Greenway, 31-25, and lost to Thunderbird earlier this week, 57-37. KJ Fauski in double figures last night, looking for that open shot, and Fauski can't connect, but Julian tracks it down. And Luke will pull it back out. Luke swings it out to Gio Barone, lets it fly from 3, and Gio connects from long range. Nice to see that after Gio struggling from the perimeter last night. Chukwuegia swings it over. Hashki Nelson. Michael Minter. Chukwuegia down in the blocks. Fires it up and showing the moves. Young man's got some quality footwork. This one tied at 3. Grijalva thought about it. Pulls it back out. Julian from the perimeter. He'll reset the offense with Chukwuegia in the ISO defensive coverage. Barone being picked up by Tyson Mortensen. Going in strong. And Chukwuegia, the block on Padilla. But you gotta love the aggressiveness by Luke. Not settling for the jump shot, looking to attack the paint.
And we saw yesterday how Seton was able to eliminate the height difference. We'll see how they deal with it today.
Garcia. Ball's almost thrown away. Padilla. Shot clock winding down. Julian in and out of the rim. Barone pulls it back out. Resets the shot clock. Good hustle sequence by the Sentinels. JT Begay picking up Padilla. Shot from the corner. And Grijalva rips the triple. Much to the delight of his dad, who's on hand. Hashki Nelson, inside feed. And JT Begay will go to the line. Luke Padilla picks up his first foul. Begay at the line. And had a conversation with Luke after last night's game. You know, he flirted with those 4 fouls. And he talked about not getting those early ticky-tack fouls, and that one is, you know, borderline. So Begay knocks both down. It's a 1-point game. Inside. Grijalva, mad scramble. And Coconino is going to come down with it.
And if you look over, you see a huge student section for Seton today, but they are going to be silent until the 10th point is scored. It's silent night here at Seton High School. And there's a huge crowd waiting to erupt.
Chukwugia, and that was impressive. High off the glass, and a 7-6 Coconino lead. The Panthers coming with a purpose. Garcia picked up by Chukwugia. Padilla almost lost the handle. Kick out to KJ. KJ. Coconino doing a nice job on the perimeter. Julian works his way. Barone underneath, battling. And the refs making the call. Tyson Mortensen picks up the foul. Grijalva shoots it over. Padilla partially blocked. Good defense by Coconino. Panthers kick in the corner. Chukwugia down in the blocks, picked up by Garcia. Hashke Nelson picked up by Gio. JT Begay working that top of the perimeter. Nelson swings it over to Begay. Panthers down in the box, and they call the offensive foul against Tyson Mortensen, and that's his second. So once again, we saw a lot of that last night. The Sentinels very good at positioning themselves defensively. When these two teams met last year. Gio, KJ, Padilla, picked up quickly by Begay. He'll pull it back out. Plenty of time on the shot clock at 23. Gets the high screen from Barone. Barone swings it over. KJ thought about it for a split second. Now he goes in the lane and draws the contact. So KJ's doing a really nice job of drawing contact as Michael Minner picks up the foul. KJ's such a good spot-up shooter, can rip it from 3 at any given point. And we're going to call this, the fan base, they're waiting for that 10th point. We're going to call this Silent Night. And they are ready to explode. And KJ doing what he does, knocking down set shots with ease.
Brings them 1 point closer. Now just 3 away. Make it 2. 8-6. Sentinels regain the lead.
Sentinels on top. A back and forth affair early. We got members of the volleyball team here. And we got a blocking foul. And that's against Miguel Grijalva, his first. Team fouls, even at 3 apiece. Alejandro Burns checking in. Coach Carter Abey going a little more on the size. Chukwugia misses on the alley-oop in. And Garcia. Chukwugia long and lengthy, but he runs the court very well.
Yeah.
Very athletic. Mad scramble on the court. And Coconino gets the timeout. And Coach Abey and his squad talking some things over. So this is kind of a, you know, you look at this Coconino team and they've had some problems scoring. Needs to say, talking to Coach Cooper Elliott, he says, we're just trying to find an identity right now. And they kind of mirror the Sentinels in the way they play. They hustle, they get after the ball, they attack, they're everywhere. And the Sentinels right now in a little bit of a early first period slugfest, only up by 1.
Much like what we saw yesterday, but perhaps in a different lens so far here tonight.
Burns, Padilla, Garcia, Barone, Grijalva, Chukwujia, as well as Hashki Nelson leading the offensive attack. And you got travel down below on Chukwujia. Young man, a senior, 6'5", 185. Now the big thing, college level, he's gonna have to be able to hit that 10-footer. Julian had an opportunity. Good defense by the Panthers. And that is thrown up and banged in by Gio Barone. That was impressive. And that's the 10th point. Silent Night is now a raucous affair. Chukwudea. It's kicked out. Thought about it from long range was Michael Minner. Cutting across, Hashki Nelson. Nelson, 10 on the shot clock. Almost taken away by Padilla. Minner will let it fly. Minner off the front of the iron. Picked up and put in by Hashki Nelson. Little runner in the corner, and Hashki Nelson makes it a 1-point game. And we've got energy on both ends.
Coconino student section is outsized, but not out-volumed. They're bringing it tonight.
And we got a blocking foul against JT Begay. Alejandro Burns picking that up. Good work by Alejandro, the senior. Padilla shoots it over to Miguel. Garcia thought about it. Kicks it out to Gio. And Gio's had a nice first period with 5 points to lead the Sentinels. 23 on the shot clock. Padilla in the lane, driving. Oh, blocked, but draws the contact. And once again, Luke doing what's necessary.
That's a great team player play right there from Padilla. He went up knowing he was going to meet some harsh contact, and he took it for the team anyways to get the 2 free shots.
And Cooper Elliott, the head coach of the Panthers, kind of looked at that one like, you gotta let the boys play a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, look, in the NBA, how many times do you see a guy get breezed and they call a foul, right?
Yeah.
I mean, gotta let the boys play a little bit. Good defense by the Sentinels, but it's gonna stay in the corner. Michael Hayahaya on the inbounds. Hashki Nelson, Grijalva, a defensive specialist. Hayahaya double teamed immediately. Minner with Garcia right on him. Good defense once again by the Sentinels. Guarding the perimeter, something fierce. Take it away. Alejandro with a good diving effort right into the student section. 2 seconds on the shot clock. This is going to be a catch and shoot for the Panthers. 50.4 seconds left. And Grijalva takes it away. Miguel can't connect off the glass. Minner from long range. That won't go. And that trickles out of bounds. Still good hustle effort by Miguel Grijalva coming up with the steal. Good crowd on hand tonight. Friday night hoops from Seton Catholic right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. Barone quickly out to Padilla, and he's tracked down immediately by the Panthers. Gavin Green has the assignment. Padilla thought about it. Kicks it over to Grijalva. Miguel fires it up. Chukwuegia rips it down. And the Panthers will play for the final shot. Haya. Gavin Green. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Minner will let it fly from long range. And Minner shoots up the air ball, and that is gonna do it for a very determined first period by both squads, and the Sentinels up by 3.
Sentinels, I mean, what a phenomenal job they've done of carrying over that momentum and that intensity from yesterday. They brought it today. They came out ready to go, and they're taking it right to Coconino. They have a 3-point lead as we head into the second period.
Barone with 5 points, and on the other side, Michael Chukwuegia with 5 points, a space eater down low, showing his physicality. Gotta love the student section. They came out, man. They're in that holiday Yuletide spirit.
Yeah.
And if I would have had more time, I would have had the Santa cap on.
And the flannel?
And the flannel, possibly.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any, like, Santa Christmas flannel, but I do have a Santa hat.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's the Christmas spirit right there.
I would have brought it. Maybe a candy cane or two as well. So Coconino traveling down from the 17 and bringing a good fan base. And their student section and the fan base, they're bringing some energy. And right across from us, we have the loyal Seton fan base. We have the parents. And we are about to start this second period. Sentinels coming in with a record of 7-2, running a 6-game winning streak. Coconino 1-3, and once again, Seton lost to Coconino last year, 63-47. And just like last year, KJ knocks it down. KJ Fauski with 5 points. Double-digit score. Had the opportunity to talk to the young man last night. He's excited to be part of this Sentinels program. And once again, great defense by the Sentinels as Haya throws it away. And that's becoming a staple of this team, Doc, is the relentless defensive pressure and their ability to rotate and have the IQ and recognize what they see on offense. Julian going strong, and Chukwuegia knocks it away. But good effort by Julian. You see the lane, you got to go for it.
Yep.
Minner, Fauski on him. Haya, Barone right there. Gavin Green. Colby Doucette. And no basket. They call the contact ahead of time. Fouls on Julian Garcia, and that's his second. Coming back in the game, Tyson Mortensen. And coming in, the man of steel, Brock Steele, who is just a thoroughbred in the early portion of this season. A sophomore, young man is playing like a seasoned senior. Good work by Doucette in the lane. And Brock rips it over to Padilla. And here come the Sentinels running up the floor.
What a six-man steal has been so far for the Sentinels. I wouldn't be surprised if he made his way into the starting lineup pretty soon. Such a dynamic, athletic player.
KJ, corner, Barone, and Gio rips the triple. He's got 8. The Sentinels with an 18-9 lead. And when we talked to Cooper Elliott before the game, Doc, he talked about his team. Right now, they're having a hard time scoring, and Barone up and in. Gio, 10 first half points, and the lead is 11. And Gio Barone has come out on fire.
It feels like every single night, someone else on the Sentinels wants to step up. Such a dynamic roster, everyone can be the guy on any given night.
And Chukwuegia right there, Doc. Looked like a stud playing Pop-A-Shot at Chuck E. Cheese, right?
Yeah,
Made that look easy.
His game reminds me very much of Giannis Antetokounmpo. Falski from deep finds nothing but air.
And what makes Giannis so good, and I've had the opportunity to see Giannis, is because athletically, there's never going to be a better athlete on the floor, but Doc, he's so long and lengthy that he can scoop a shot from like 10 feet away easily with his arms.
Yeah.
And that's a Bucks team that, with the addition, and that's a great slicing and dicing move by Hashki Nelson. And that's a Bucks team with the addition of Damian Lillard. When it's all said and done, and new coach Monty Williams, they could be in the NBA Finals. Of course, you've got the Celtics there. You got the 76ers as well. Gio and Brock. And that's contact against Chukwueze. And that's the first on Chukwueze. And Brock Steele will go to the line. And Brock knocks down the first. Brock, as we've talked about, playing so poised and makes it look easy, and just what an incredible addition he's been to the varsity squad this year. Chukwueze, and that's great defense as Coconino tried to backdoor with Tyson Mortensen, but that's exactly where they want Chukwueze to be. They don't want him to be deep in the post. Alejandro off the mark. Ripped up by Gavin Green. And the Sentinels cheerleaders are here. And that is going to be a backcourt violation. Hashki Nelson lost the handle. Luke Wood is checking in for Gio Barone, and Gio has been spectacular, Doc. 10 first half points.
Yeah, I mean, he's been lights out, shooting it from deep and getting some buckets from right underneath the rim as well. He comes out of this one perhaps just to give him a breath, but we'll see what Padilla can do as he takes it up the court.
And Doc, you made a very good point earlier. It's that it seems like every night on a great kick out by Padilla and Brock shoots in the corner to Luke Woitis, that there's a different hero for the Sentinels every night. KJ, and that one rims in and out. Love to see KJ shoot.
Yeah.
Saw a practice before the season, and he just didn't miss. And I had to ask who the young man was, and nice young man, a great addition to this Sentinels team, and that's knocked down by Gavin Green. Green from long range gets into the scoring column. And that's a 6-point lead for the Sentinels. Padilla with Green on him. Green, long and lengthy. Good body to guard the perimeter. 17 on the shot clock. Steele swings it over to KJ, and KJ almost draw the contact from Hashki Nelson. Padilla lets it go. And how about Luke Padilla? And you can just hear the ripple off the net.
That was a perfect shot.
Just
no rim.
The ripple.
It left the net up inside of the rim as well. I mean, that's a beautiful stroke right there from Padilla.
Gio Barone about to check back in the game. Coconino working that perimeter. They were looking for Chukwueze inside, and Woitis and Chukwueze get tied up. Possession arrow. Carter Abe thought he should have had the possession on that, needs to say.
I have to agree with him.
You know,
I'm biased though, of course.
You got to be the best representative of your team at all times. JT Begay swings out to Gavin Green, and this one from long range, and that's off the iron. And a battle underneath. Alejandro outworks Chukwugia. Padilla with Gavin Green on him. Padilla asking for the screen. He gets it, but Chukwugia swings over. And taken away by Hashki Nelson. Nelson works it and draws the foul. And that's the situation right there for your Hashki Nelson. Pull it back out, maybe see the numbers, not in your favor, but the young man got to the rack and Sentinels bailed him out with the contact.
Sentinels still holding on to a 9-point lead here with 2:22 left in the second period, and it's right about the time where the Sentinels have a big opportunity to pull away heading into the half. Hopefully they take advantage of that.
Miguel Grijalva picked up the foul. That's his second. Sentinels with a 9-point lead. So glad he can join us right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. The doctor, Adam Perry. Joe Coconino on the call. And that one trickles in. Hashki Nelson now has 5. 8-point Sentinels lead as they work it out of the backcourt. They do it with ease. Barone. And that's a situation right there where Carter Abey called for the timeout. He called for the timeout in that possession. He saw the Sentinels breaking down on control of the basketball and never got the call.
And him and the referee have made amends after that missed call.
He talked to Dan Schultz, and that's Chukwugia underneath. And Chukwugia now with 9 points.
And Chukwugia proving to be the difficult player here tonight for Seton to deal with. We didn't really see a singular standout player yesterday from the Monsoon, but Coconino today has brought big number 23 to dish out some damage.
Chukwugia now has 10 points. He's been such a factor down low. Padilla is being screened by JT Begay. Puts it down in the post. Padilla gets it back. And Luke not afraid. And Luke driving with a purpose. Luke now with 7. It's a 7-point Sentinels lead. Padilla averaging 17 a game to lead the Sentinels. Minter. And this is exactly where if the Sentinels can get Chukwugia out in the perimeter, they'll take that all day.
Yeah.
Great defense underneath, and they call the foul against, or they would say Gio was out of bounds. But great defense on the double team as they came along quickly on Tyson Mortensen to deny him. Inbounds, it's Nelson. And you figure he'd be looking for Chukwugia down low, instead works it out in the perimeter. JT Begay swings it over, Nelson. Woitis on him, Nelson getting in. And what about the circus shot by Hashki Nelson? Banks it off the glass. A 5-point Sentinels lead. And this is a Coconino team that really plays with a lot of grit and toughness. Padilla, that left side, under a minute left in the first half. Gio, who has been spectacular, 10 first half points with Chukwugia on him. Tries to beat Chukwugia, but has to pull it back out. And they call contact. And it looks like that's the second on Chukwugia. And you know what, that's, Doc, that's one of those fouls we talked about. Got to let the boys play a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit light on the foul calling right there, but you know, it works out in the Sentinels' favor, so no complaints.
Woitis over to Barone. Taken away by Minter. Minter, Chukwugia. Coach Abey wanted the travel. They don't get it. Minter. 25 on the shot clock. Chukwugia in the lane. Won't go. Gets the putback. Misses. And Woitis checks it down. And that's an opportunity going by the wayside. And then on the other end, Grijalva to Burns. And KJ Fauski about to go back in as Woodis takes a breather. Sentinels clinging to a 5-point lead. They led 12-9 after one. Chukwuemeka with 10 points. And we got a timeout on the floor from Cooper Elliott. And that is Cooper Elliott in his 3rd season. And you'll appreciate this, Doc. Didn't play basketball. He played baseball for Washington State.
Wow.
He was a right fielder.
Wow.
And I think we both know if you play right field, you got to have something of a hose.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's what they told me. So young man, so I asked him, because I grew up in New York City, and I've seen plenty of snow in my life. And now the only time I want to see snow is in a picture. And that's really about it. Or occasionally, every once in a blue moon. And I said, Coach, do you ever want to see snow again? He's like, oh, I love it. I can see it all the time. I'm like, okay. And
it's great to look at, not great to deal with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, that is the perfect way to say it. Like, if you could fly me in for one day and make it easy so I can get back to the airport, where I don't have to, like, you know, go through, like,
shovel your driveway.
Yes,
yeah.
and wondering if my car is going to start, and wondering if I'm going to hydroplane and end up in a ditch, like I did in Little Rock, coming back
Wow.
from an event I was covering there.
Wow.
Actually, you know, true story. I drove back from Arkadelphia, which is probably a couple hours away, and it was snowing, and I was like speeding to make it back.
Yeah.
As Minter shoots this one at the buzzer, and Minter connects, and what a finish for the Panthers. They end on a run, and they pull within 2. Sentinels with a 27-25 halftime lead. So Sentinels up as much as double digits, and the Panthers claw their way back.
Yep. And this is definitely a different contest than what we saw last night. Last night it felt like the Sentinels pushed the Monsoon and they kind of started to break down until they fully collapsed. Tonight it looks like Coconino's fighting back.
This is a Coconino team, you can tell. Well poised, they don't really lose their composure. We saw the Monsoon at times look like they were reaching DEFCON 1 on just about every single play.
Yeah.
So the story back in the day in Little Rock, coming back from Arkadelphia,
right,
was covering a program out there, and I was driving back pretty fast so I could make deadline. No problem as the snow was coming down. Now on the way back, going home, I'm thinking, oh, I got this, no problem. What ends up happening? Hydroplane in a ditch.
Wow.
And the next day, I had a sticker on my car. You know, one of the stickers, get your car or you'll get towed.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, how about a little patience? Like I asked my car to be here.
Yeah.
And we see the Sentinels cheerleaders entertaining the crowd, and we'll take a short time out. You're watching the Sentinels and the Panthers. Friday Night Hoops from John J. McMahon Gym on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. And we welcome you back to John J. McMahon Gym. Joe Coconino, Adam Perry, Paulo Hutchinson live stream. The rowdy Seton Catholic student section, the cheerleaders, the alumni, the fan base, the concession stand. Oh, there's all kinds of good love and energy in this building. Sentinels with a halftime lead, 27-25. Gio Barone with 10 points. Michael Chukwugia with 10 points for the Panthers. And this was a game of run, Doc. The Sentinels led 12-9 after one. They led double digits in the second period, and the Panthers clawed their way back in.
Yeah, the Panthers are not going away. Coconino is putting up a great fight tonight against the Sentinels. They're matching all the intensity, the energy. They're playing clean basketball as well. This is a great matchup on our hands, Joe.
So the Sentinels will start the second frame with possession. Julian Garcia over to Gio Barone. Gio with a good, solid first half with 10 points. Grijalva, Garcia, good ball movement by the Sentinels, and Barone off the iron. Try to rip it away from Tyson Mortensen. And the Panthers can tie this one up. Minter. Good drive, just couldn't finish. Barone swings it over to Miguel Grijalva. Miguel, oh, good look from the outside. And Miguel, his second three. He's got 6 to lead, back to 5 for the Sentinels. Other side, Hashke Nelson. Padilla. Luke not hesitating. Just too strong off the glass. Mortensen. Hashke Nelson. And that cry of defense coming from that Sentinels bench. And can they replicate the same defensive effort that we saw last night against Valley Vista, where they held the Monsoon to only 9 third period points? Ripped over. Nelson. Begay thought about it for a second. Barone, Padilla, Garcia, Grijalva, and Fauski on the floor. Begay, Nelson, Minter, Chukwugia, and Mortensen on the floor. Great defensive possession by the Sentinels as the shot clock expired. Grijalva again from 3. Miguel just a little long. Chukwugia, the save out to Nelson. Nelson, good move in the open court. Nelson, coast to coast, and a blocking foul. And Nelson showing the moves in the open lane.
Nelson has been very good tonight with the ball in his hands. He takes good care of it. He's super quick. His acceleration is almost unmatched. And Seton's having a hard time keeping him away from the paint.
And that's the third foul on Miguel Grijalva. Hashke Nelson. Nelson having a nice contest. He now has 8. Chukwugia leading the way for the Panthers with 10 points. It's a 4-point Sentinels lead. And you just love to see the support of the fan base. The student section out in force, the parents out in force. Good Friday night action from Seton Catholic. And for all the viewers that are watching right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network, we appreciate you. How about Julian? Great moves and couldn't finish underneath. And Alejandro Burns about to check in. And Garcia checking out. Julian, big night last night with 20 points. He's gonna have to be a factor in this one for the Sentinels. Mortensen kicks over to Begay. Begay, Chukwugia down low. He's got 12, it's a 1-point lead. So every time you think the Panthers are going away, well, the Sentinels are about to pull away. The Panthers claw their way back. Padilla with Begay, tight one-on-one defense. Grijalva in that corner, picked up by Nelson. Padilla, and gets called for the travel. Freddie the Flamingo out in the student section. Nelson, Mortensen, Grijalva, Miguel provides such great defensive pressure. Chukwugia, Mortensen down low, he's got the size advantage. Begay underneath, and Alejandro is gonna draw the contact. And you gotta love how fearless Miguel is. Miguel, one of these smaller Sentinel players, maybe the smallest on the team, but he'll D up anyone. And it's a foul against Mortensen.
Once again, we see the great positioning from the Sentinels pay off. They take the ball now with a lot on their shoulders. Coconino's been crawling their way back into this one. Seton's lead has dwindled to just 1 point now.
So Coach Aby going a little bigger with Brock Steele now back in the game. Two guards in Grijalva and Padilla. Steele, Burns, and Barone providing the muscle. Swings it over to Grijalva, 14 on the shot clock. Barone, Mortensen top of the key. Barone swings it out, Alejandro. Brock Steele, Brock in the lane. Brock going strong, and Brock couldn't connect. And now it's the Panthers with the opportunity to take the lead. Mortensen, Begay, swings it over to Minter. Chukwugia down in the blocks. Minter thought about it, stops, pops, and drills the nets. Minter, his second bucket, and it's a 1 point Panther lead. And Coach Aby calling a timeout.
A full timeout. Talk some morale back into his team. Coconino has been the team pressing the pace so far in this third quarter, and they've taken the lead. 31 to the Sentinels 30.
Panthers on a 6-3 run to start this third period. Very resilient group, and we've seen the outside touch by Michael Minner. A 3 in the second period and a big third quarter jump shot as well. And as we take a look at that Sentinels bench, and Coach Carter Aby right now talking to his youngsters, and once again, a squad being tested, and they're gonna have to rise to the task against this very gritty Coconino team, a squad that came in with a record of 1-3 and really has struggled offensively in the early portion of this season. Sentinels looking to regroup. Sentinels average 62 points, 27 rebounds, and almost 10 assists per contest. Barone swings it out to Padilla with Begay giving chase. Grijalva, Hashke, Nelson on him. Brock, and Brock gets called for the travel. And right now, when the Sentinels are down in the blocks, they can hear the footsteps of Chukwugia. Just go up strong, draw contact, right?
Yep. He's an unrelenting force in the paint.
Gavin Green swings it over to Minter, and Minter has shown throughout this contest, got a nice stroke, can't leave him wide open. Minter, Hashke, Nelson, 15 on the shot clock. Barone on Nelson. And that's a great driving move by Hashke, Nelson, and contact. Alejandro Burns picks up his second foul. Hashke Nelson will go to the line. He's got 9 points, and he's got some sizzle to his game.
Yeah.
He's got some good moves. He's got 10. Chukwugia with 12. Panthers with a 2-point lead. Nelson. And that one rims out, but Chukwugia and Nelson left open. Chukwuegia battling. Brock Steele had it for a near second. Barone in a tie-up with Nelson. And both teams with relentless efforts. And that Panthers fan base is ecstatic. (32-30). Cooper Elliott working that sidelines for the Panthers and liking what he's seeing from his team. Chukwuegia swings over to Gavin Green. Shot is up, and that one is long, but Chukwuegia is there. A couple dribbles inside, goes up strong, put back is good. Chukwuegia now with 14, and the Panthers with a 4-point lead. Padilla, Begay, and right now the Sentinels need a basket. They've only scored 3 points in this third period. Padilla with a good look. And that one is off the iron, and Julian Garcia could not track it down. And right now, offensively, nothing's coming easy for the Sentinels.
Chukwuegia is just such a force around the rim. The Sentinels are forced to play on the perimeter, but the perimeter is locked up, so they have to go in, and then Chukwuegia is waiting for them.
JT Begay swings it down to Chukwuegia. And that's going the other way as Chukwuegia lost his balance. Ball trickles out of bounds. And Julian swings it over to Brock. And Julian so good with the ball in his hands. Almost like an additional guard on the floor. Chukwuegia, Garcia. And that is the third for Chukwuegia. And right now, Cooper Elliott just looked at Chukwuegia and said, calm the Jets. Don't pick up ticky-tack fouls. We need you on the floor.
Yeah, they cannot risk him fouling out of this contest.
KJ Fauski looking for a screen, potentially. Garcia. 2 minutes left in this third period. Garcia, a couple dribbles. Taken away by Mike Minner. And good work by Gio Barone. Taking it right back. And that's a hustle possession right there. And Julian driving, looking for Brock, and he'll go to the line. Actually a non-shooting foul. And that is the fourth on Michael Chukwuegia.
And that's exactly what the Sentinels wanted to see. Chukwuegia is just the driving force for the Coconino Panthers.
Garcia, Haya in the game. Padilla, Gavin Green on him. Padilla gives up the dribble. KJ Fauski will pull it out. Plenty of time on the shot clock. Fauski needs a screen. Brock Steele, Michael Minner with some active hands. Padilla. Swings it over to Gio. Gio. Little floater, and Gio gets it to go. He's got 12, and talk about a much needed basket for the Sentinels. They pull within 2. Minter. Garcia out in the perimeter. Haya. And they call a timeout or a tie-up situation, and Carter Abe right now, he's like pleading with the referees to call a timeout. That's the second time, and they've just essentially
ignore him. Carter Abe is a class act of a coach.
And the one referee told Coach Abe to get back in his area, essentially. And essentially, that's another possession where if he gets a timeout, things move a little more fluid for the Sentinels. Needless to say, they play on. Down 2. 46.6 seconds left in this third period. Carter Abe having a conversation with Jaden Fassett, the referee. And Gio being tracked down by JT Begay. Shot clock differential, about 11 seconds. Sentinels with 22 on the shot clock. Brock Steele going up, and Brock can't connect off the glass. And Brock will pick up the foul. So good execution. Chukwueze not in the game, and Steele able to get to the glass and just couldn't finish. And Haya will go to the line, looking for his first points in this one. So right now, this is one's turning into a little bit of a chess match now, with Chukwueze out of this one, and the Sentinels still trying to find some offense. And they've got the ability to get to the rack, and they've had a lot of layups that they just could not convert. Sentinels trailing by 2. And Haya picks up his first point of the night. Sentinels down 3, and they'll play for the final shot. Barone swings it over to Julian. 18 on the shot clock. Padilla, Garcia swings in the corner. KJ, floater, and KJ knocks it down. KJ, big basket. Sentinels down 1. Panthers will play for the final shot. Colby Doucette swings it, taken away by Brock Steele. And a good turn of events for the Sentinels. KJ Fauski once again showing he can put the ball on the floor. And the Sentinels pull within 1. So they were outscored 10-7 in that third period. But down the stretch, they get a big basket from Fauski and a good defensive possession on the other side.
Yeah, the Sentinels end the third quarter very hot. They head into the fourth with some momentum behind them. Even though they're down and they were outscored that quarter, they have the momentum in their favor right now. And this match has been just back and forth all night long. A very different contest at this stage in the game than we saw last night against Valley Vista. The Monsoon by this point had collapsed emotionally. Their poise was gone. Coconino was very much in this contest still.
And now it's really going to be a chess match with Michael Chukwueze. He's got 4 fouls, and if you're the Sentinels, as soon as he steps in, you're attacking the paint.
100%.
You're doing everything possible to get him out. And Cooper Elliott, talking to his staff, realizes that Chukwueze will only be brought in if the Sentinels make a big run. He'll be in the final 3 minutes, make no mistake.
Yeah, the Sentinels' odds of winning this game are much higher with Chukwueze on the bench.
Barone, Steele, Fauski, Padilla, Garcia on the floor, Nelson, Haya, Begay, Gavin Green, and Minter on the floor for the Panthers. Haya down low. Good defense by Steele, and Brock bringing it again. Brock banging and swatting with a purpose. And you just gotta love the energy that Brock Steele brings. Out on that perimeter against Haya. We'll take that every single time. And Minter can't leave him alone. He is the KJ Fauski of the Panthers. Nelson shaking and baking. Gavin Green that left side. Julian's there. Minter driving. Haya loses the handle. And it's going the other way. And the Sentinels locking up with an opportunity to take the lead. 35-34. Sentinels running a 6-game winning streak. Victories over ALA West Foothills, ALA Queen Creek, Push Ridge Academy, and Julian Strong. His first bucket of the night couldn't be any bigger. Victory over Bradshaw Mountain, knocking off Westwood, knocking off Valley Vista. And they're being pushed by the 1-3 Panthers, a team that made the 4A playoffs last year, a team that beat them handedly. And that's going to be a foul call against Haya. And that's his first. And Mortensen checking back in. Tyson Mortensen, he's got 3. So this one's going to be a battle of wills. Who can stay out of foul trouble? And Julian delivers again. Coming up big. Taking advantage of Michael Chukwuejia out of the game. Begay. Gavin Green almost lost the handle. Turnaround. And that's an incredible shot by Gavin Green.
Heavily contested. Brock Steele was all over that, and he still made it.
Looked like he might have got away from a carry call as well. They don't call it, but he honed in and nailed the shot. Garcia yet again. And Julian Garcia taking over in this 4th period. 6 points, Sentinels up 3. Hashke Nelson shaking and baking. Gavin Green on that perimeter. Swings it over to Nelson. Nelson, good ball movement. Nelson is a player and then some. He's got some handles. Swings it over to Minter. KJ on him. Minter try to get to that right side of the perimeter. 5 on the shot clock. Nelson in the lane. Swings it over to Begay. Begay, Mortensen. And Mortensen draws the contact as the shot clock expires. And they call the foul on Gio Barone. And that's his 2nd. And that's a bailout foul last second.
Yep. 5:22 left in this contest. Sentinels have a 3-point lead. And these free shots are huge for Coconino.
Mortensen looking for his first point of the night. And it comes at the most opportune time for the Panthers. And that fan base of the Panthers, they've got their king crowns on, courtesy of BK. And Mortensen trying to feel like the king. Comes up big, and it's a 1-point Sentinels lead. Closing in on 5 minutes left. A thriller from John J. McMahon Gym. Gio Barone swings it over to KJ. Luke Padilla driving in, and Luke up and in. Luke Padilla, he's got 9. The lead is 3. Hashke Nelson. Nelson lost his footing for a split second. JT Begay over to Hashke Nelson, and Nelson blocked, and they call the contact on Padilla. And Nelson will go to the line. And about to check in is the big fella, Michael Chukwuejia. But first, Nelson will go to the line and shoot a pair. And this is playoff basketball right here.
No doubt.
Both teams not getting beat in transition. Hard half-court basketball, and Nelson misses the first. Student section feeling the Yuletide spirit. Silent night, first 10 points, and then they began cheering. Nelson misses the second. He'll try to salvage the third. And Coach Carter Abey telling Julian Garcia, this rebound is yours. Gotta have it.
Chukwuejigba is back in the game. The biggest weapon for Coconino.
And Brock Steele's got to box him out on this free throw attempt. And Brock does just that as Hashke Nelson picks up his 11th point. 2-point game, 4:30 left. A thriller from John J. McMahon Gym. Sentinels 6-game winning streak on the line. Garcia swings over Barone. Padilla lets it fly, and that one is long off the mark. Hashke Nelson to Begay. Rebound, Chukwuejia, and taken away. Great defense by Gio. And Gio does the right thing, slows it up. Brock Steele down low. And they call the travel call.
Wow.
Against Brock Steele. And Carter Abe getting the explanation from referee Andy Goodman. Critical call on this one. 3:55 left. Hashki Nelson. And Chukwuegia up and in. 16 points. And right now, Carter Abe is feeling like he's not getting any love from referee Jaden Fassett.
And this game is coming down to the wire.
42 all. Garcia, Gavin Green on him. Garcia loses the handle. Chukwuegia picks up the loose ball. Gavin Green, and he traveled. That's going the other way.
Oh no! That's a terrible missed call right there by the referees.
Wow.
Blocking foul on Luke Padilla. His base was set, he was not moving, he was a stationary object. But regardless, the referees saw it a different way.
It looked like Gavin Green traveled. But needs to
Travel
say,
as well, neither one was called there.
he's gonna get an opportunity to give the Panthers the lead, and he does just that. Green's been a factor. He's got 6 points. Panthers on top by 1. And Green, that rolls in. Sentinels trailing by 2. This one coming right down to the wire. Garcia, Steele, Fauski, Barone, and Padilla on the floor. Chukwuegia, Begay, Minter, Green, and Nelson on the floor for the Panthers. Julian can't connect. Chukwuegia rips it down. Under 2 minutes left. Make that under 3. Apologize. Gavin Green thought about it. Minter, Padilla right on him. Minter will survey the perimeter. Bergay with Fauski in his mug. Chukwuegia underneath, and Chukwuegia wins the battle. And it's a 4-point Panthers lead. And a timeout on the floor. Sentinels led by 3. And the Panthers on a nice run, and Chukwuegia factoring in with 4 fourth quarter points. And with Chukwuegia, once again, we talked about it, Doc, he's got 4 fouls at some point. Sentinels got to bring the pressure down below and try to force number 5.
Yeah, have some play targeted towards the paint around the rim and hopefully get him out of the contest. Carter Abe called a full timeout here. Hopefully he can corral his team and have some kind of play step forth to get them back in this one. Right now, Chukwuegia is pulling Coconino away in the final minutes.
So, Doc, let me ask you, because Christmas time, there's always the ugly sweater contest, and there's always the ugly sweater Christmas parties. Do you have an ugly Christmas party sweater?
I do. I have one with some sleighs on it and some reindeer and typical tacky, you know.
So bring it next week when the squad takes on Poston Butte. Wear that, and I'll find one.
Okay.
I'll find an ugly Christmas sweater.
We'll figure it out.
Bring it, okay? I'll text you that day. Ugly sweater Christmas night. So next week when they take on Poston Butte. Sentinels trailing by 4. Padilla. A lot of time left. An eternity. Miguel Grijalva. Hashki Nelson. Good defense. Padilla down low. Swing out. Barone. Open look. Gio rims out. Miguel tracks it down. Great hustle play by Miguel. Now we've got under 2 minutes left. Pass underneath. And they rule that out of bounds against the Sentinels. So now the Sentinels have to play some defense. And a great timeout call by Cooper Elliott. And that was just a good use of a timeout as the Sentinels were looking to trap the ball handler, and Elliott regroups his team, and now Carter Abey doing the same for the Sentinels. So a battle. This is a Panthers team coming in with a record of 1-3. They defeated the Sentinels last year. Cooper Elliott talked about his team. Where was the offense going to come from? And obviously they got it from Chukwuemeka, and Hashki Nelson has provided some offense, and they've done just enough. Gavin Green coming off the bench, chipping in with 7, and the Sentinels on the other end. Julian Garcia with 6 in the 4th. Luke Padilla with 9 points. Gio Barone leading the team with 12. And right now the Sentinels got to find their offense, and they're going to go back on defense immediately. And this is where you're going to see Carter Abey is really going to make Coconino earn everything. And that could be potentially coming at the line. Minter on the floor. Hashki Nelson almost taken away. Foul call will go against the Sentinels, and that's Grijalva. That's his 4th. So the visiting Panthers playing with a 4-point lead, and they can afford to milk the clock. A fresh 35 to work with. And Cooper Elliott and his team, you can tell, they have no problem working the clock. And they're going to call the foul against Miguel Grijalva, and that's his 5th. And stepping in is Samuel Davis, young man who plays in the JV squad, a lot of potential. Seeing his first action in this one. So Hashki Nelson. And we're here in the Sentinels bench. And the student body raised the roof some. It's a 5-point Coconino lead. Nelson knocks down both. He's got 13. Sentinels trailing by 6. Fauski from the corner. AJ, relentless. And it's a 3-point. And they call the foul against the Sentinels. And that's going to be against Sam Davis, his 1st. And Minter, not the player on the floor you want to foul.
No, sharpshooter.
Sharpshooter who has shown his range. A young mistake by Sam Davis. Sentinels were working the trap. It looked like they had Minter pinned. And then Sam just got a paw on him. Minter with 6 points, lead is 4. And Minter clutch at the line. Sentinels can't afford to waste time. They need points and quickly. $1:10 left. Padilla. Barone thought about it. Padilla lets it fly. And Padilla is short. A minute and 2 seconds left in this one. Minter. The steal by Garcia. Barone. And I got to tell you, this is a contest that when you think about the officiating, it's been so uneven. I mean, we saw contact on the inbounds right there that could have easily been called, and then underneath, and needs to say, Barone with an opportunity.
And he capitalizes on his first.
He's got 13. Every refereeing crew is different, but this one's been a little uneven. And that one drops. One possession game. And the Sentinels not going away. They are fighting, and they're giving themselves an opportunity.
Joe, I have a feeling this game is going to come down to the last shot. This is a barn burner so far. A great display of defensive capability, athleticism, grit, intensity, you name it. These teams are showing out tonight.
And really right now it's about the Sentinels not letting Chukwuegia get deep post position against them.
Yeah.
And they got to be able to guard the perimeter very well. And that's what makes Coconino so difficult, because they've got the outside and the inside presence. But down the stretch, the Sentinels have shown their ability to come up big and nail some big shots. And here they are. It's an eternity. 55.5 seconds left.
Yep. Coming down to the wire, 3-point differential. Sentinels have some ground to make up late.
Sentinels lost to Coconino last year. Both teams made the 4A playoffs, both winning their play-in games. Trapping situation by the Sentinels. JT Begay. Gavin Green almost lost the handle. Davis on him. Hashke Nelson getting trapped. Nelson works his way out of it. Into the lane, and Chukwuegia back up. A tough physical basket. And Carter Abey will call a timeout. And Chukwuegia, a lot of physicality on that end.
He's such a presence. I mean, you just cannot let him get underneath. As soon as he's underneath and he has the ball in his hands, you can put it on the board.
Sentinels down 5 with 30.8 seconds left. Chukwuegia, 6 points in the fourth. He's got 20. 20 points to lead the Panthers on the other side. Gio Barone with 14. Julian with 6 in the fourth. Padilla with 9 points. KJ Fauski with 10. And you know Fauski and Padilla are going to be a factor in this final 30.8 seconds left. The sharp shooting duo. Padilla out to Garcia. The Sentinels with no time to waste. Looking for a good shot. Padilla picked up. Garcia will let it go. And Julian almost connects. Chukwuegia with the rebound. Minter up the floor. Padilla, the foul from behind. And Julian Garcia had a good look and just a little too short. Padilla draws the contact. That's his fourth, and Minter will go to the line. Last time on the stripe, nailed both free throws. Minter hits the first. Coconino team that was looking to find itself off to a 1-3 start. Coach Elliott was talking about where would the offense come. And collectively, a team that lost 8 seniors last year has really stepped up. Padilla lets it go. That one is off the iron, and Chukwuegia. Great job by the young man. Played the last 3-4 minutes with 4 fouls and managed to stay out of that 5th foul territory. And Minter will go back to the line. And the Coconino fan base, they have a lot to be proud of. Minter hits the first. And Minter has been a factor for the Panthers, living on the stripe, finishing with 11. And the Sentinels' 6-game winning streak comes to an end on home court as they are knocked off by Coconino, 56-47. And Michael Chukwuegia, a factor down the stretch and throughout. Doc with 20 points to lead the charge for the Panthers.
Yeah, I mean, what an athletic specimen he is. He's just unstoppable. He's so lengthy. I mean, as soon as he got underneath the rim, there was nothing the Sentinels could do on either side of the ball. He was going to grab every defensive rebound, put back every offensive opportunity, and the Sentinels just had no answer for him tonight.
And at one time in this one, the Sentinels were up double digits, but the Panthers kept clawing and battling and clawing, and kind of mirrored what the Sentinels' mantra has been: toughness, determination, and grit.
Yeah, they were stride for stride with the Sentinels until the very last quarter where they pulled away.
Gio Brown, team high 13. Luke Padilla with 9. KJ Fauski with 10. And Julian Garcia with 6 fourth quarter points. And what made it so tough for the Sentinels, Chukwuegia's length. But along the way, Doc, there was a lot of layups that were missed by the Sentinels. They got to the rack and just could not complete. I'd say anywhere from 5 to 7 layups that were missed.
Yeah.
So the Sentinels fall tonight. They drop to 7-3. And a learning curve for them. There's always ebb and flows, Doc, throughout the season. And tonight the Sentinels are picking up a learning curve as they drop to Coconino. And you've been in this situation as an athlete in multiple stages, coming off a loss. What's that feeling like the next day, and what do the Sentinels have to do mentally to regroup? Well,
the Sentinels are in a position where they're coming off a huge win streak, and they essentially lost to one standout player here tonight. And that's not to say that the rest of Coconino didn't play well, but they had one liability that they just could not find the answer to. And, you know, coming off a big win streak like this is something that the Sentinels should be able to just brush off. You know, it was one player, it was one night. They've got to come back and keep the same intensity that they brought last night, play the whole game, and they can't miss opportunities, especially when you have such a monster on the court like Chukwuegia. You know, when you have those free layups, you just have to take advantage of that.
So next week, the Sentinels are back on the court, and they'll take on a Poston Butte team that is really struggling to find its way. They are off to a 1-5 start. Only victory came a couple weeks ago. They lost to Mesquite. They lost at Westview, lost to Gilbert Christian, lost to Holbrook, lost to Paradise Honors. And they roll into town next week for a matchup. And of course, we'll have it right here on the Seton Catholic Sports Network. We appreciate you dialing us in. For Paulo Hutchison and all the good people, from Greg Buchanan to Terry Lick, the great assistant athletic director, to Jen Hutchison, to Paulo Hutchison live stream, to my partner, the doctor, Adam Perrian. How about Andrew Feary, also here, working the camera tonight, a young man who, a member of the Chandler Goober baseball team, also played his high school ball at Hamilton High, joining us as well. Once again, a bad night from John J. McMahon Gym. The Sentinels' 6-game losing streak is snapped by the visiting Coconino Panthers, 56-47. We'll see you next week when the Sentinels take on Poston Butte, live here from John J. McMahon Gym. In the meantime, happy holidays, be safe, and have a great weekend.